evening and welcome. I'm Carolyn Casson. I'm so glad to see all of you out there. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the 14th annual WomanUp and Pitch Business Plan and Pitch Competition in Mid-Michigan. These competitions are held statewide all throughout February and March. But back in September, over 200 women submitted a business concept paper with their application to be in this competition. And with the help of our volunteer reviewers, we narrowed it down to 50 finalists across the state, 9 of whom are actually going to be pitching to you this evening. But before we jump into the pitches, I want to introduce to you our esteemed judges. I'm going to call on them and have them introduce themselves to you. First of all, we have Kimberly Kirsten. Kimberly has been a member of our board for years. She used to be a Comerica banker, and now she's on our loan committee, so she knows all the right questions to ask.
Yep, and I'm excited to be back. I've judged a few of these competitions, and I always have an amazing time, and there's amazing talent. So I'm happy to be here. Great.
We're glad you're here. The next judge is Jessica Tramontana, and Jessica, welcome. You are the Director of Community Affairs for Consumers Energy, right?
That's correct. So thank you.
And you are the sponsor of all of this tonight. So we're so happy to have you.
Well, thank you. I have to thank our foundation who does so much impactful work across the state. So I am a mom and I have 2 daughters. So I'm really excited to see a competition that supports women. Thank you.
All right. And last but certainly not least, Connor Fowler. Did I say it correctly?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, Connor. Welcome. You are an experienced entrepreneur, so you know what we're looking for tonight, right?
Yes, Carolyn. Yes, absolutely. And I'm glad to be working with such esteemed judges such as Kim and Jessica. I think we're excited to hear all the pitches tonight.
Great. Well, we're certainly glad you're here. These judges, have been working for the last couple of weeks. They've been reviewing every single one of the finalists' business plans, and that will account for 60% of the score this evening. And in a few minutes, you're going to hear the pitches. And the pitch tonight will account for 40% of the score. Each finalist is going to have exactly 3 minutes to pitch and up to 5 minutes for the judges to ask questions. Sound okay? Are you all ready? Ready to get started? It's going to be an exciting evening. Let's go.
Thank you so much for that intro, Carolyn. We'll hear from you in a little bit later once we've got our winners decided. But thank you so much to everyone who's watching at home. My name is Gabe Silver, and I'll be your host tonight. We're going to start with our startup businesses. Then we'll have a short break before we move into the established businesses. And the finalists are all going to be competing for the top 3 prizes awarded to both categories, with 500 going to all non-placing finalists. And as commonly asked, I'm sure in the chat right now, the Audience Choice Award vote will be after all of the finalists have gone, with a QR code that will go up. But without further ado, we can welcome our first finalist, Louise Montag, owner of Montag Forward Solutions. Hi, Louise. How are you doing?
Hi, doing well. And yourself?
Very good. Thank you for asking. And thank you for starting our show off. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Without further ado, I will get your slides ready here. Now, Louise, you know how this works. You have 3 minutes to pitch. If you happen to hit that timer, I'll politely interrupt to let you know and ask you to wrap up. But without further ado, the timer will start when you begin, so the floor is yours. Go ahead and take a deep breath, and whenever you're ready, you can begin.
Consider your most grueling days at work. You emerge from the office with a skull-crushing headache, your mental gears jammed by decision fatigue. You fixate on that first crisp pour of wine as your only salvation. But one glass quickly leads to a bottle, maybe something more. We see the memes about drinking to get through the workday, teams meeting at bars to trauma dump after their shifts. Substance use and misuse is becoming a normalized coping mechanism for stress. But the impacts on the employee, their colleagues, and the company are vast. There are over 30 million working Americans currently struggling with a substance use disorder. This is more than those who have diabetes. And this costs the US economy over $93 billion annually in direct costs. For a single organization, that looks like $15,000 per affected employee each year, lost to absenteeism, turnover, liability, healthcare costs, and more. Currently, companies try to fix this with reactive employee assistance programs or mindfulness apps. While these can be helpful, they're Band-Aids. They treat the individual symptoms, but they ignore the environmental root causes. My name is Louise Montag, and I founded Montag Forward Solutions to shift from a reactive approach towards substance misuse to an evidence-based resiliency strategy. I guide companies on prevention through a few different offerings: organizational health assessments and consulting, really diagnosing the root causes of stress in company culture; leadership coaching, because only 38% of managers currently know how to handle and respond in these conversations; and specialized training, building resilience and safety into the daily workflow. With a background in public health, a certification in prevention, and a decade of experience teaching people how to effectively prevent substance misuse issues, I have the skills to support your employees so you can focus on the business. I launched Montag Forward Solutions less than a year ago, focusing on supporting the nonprofit sector. And I'm really proud to share that in the last year, I delivered over 55 hours of training to over 600 people and plan to do even more in 2026. And in less than a year, I net positive profitability. But the corporate sector is also needing this expertise. The market is ready. Initiatives that improve workplace mental health yield a return on investment of up to 800% through higher productivity and retention. And with the prize funding from this competition, I will accelerate my business growth by building a proprietary organizational health audit tool on my website to automate lead generation and establish credibility. I will also target corporate sectors through paid advertising and strategic networking to increase awareness. We are living in a stressful world, but your business culture doesn't have to be. I'm Louise Montag. Help me help companies protect their most valuable asset, their people. Thank you.
Louise, very good job. You ended at 2 minutes and 59 seconds. So you hit the 2-minute mark. You used up all of the time that you had. You did very well. Congratulations. And let's, everyone who's watching this on YouTube, make some noise in the chat for Louise starting us off so strong tonight. Now, you'll have 5 minutes here that I'll keep a timer for all of our judges to ask some great questions, and then we'll let you go. We can start with Kim, go to Jessica, and then Connor.
Well, first of all, Louise, fantastic job. I think you really outlined your the problem, and you definitely have a solution for it. I wanted to ask you, it sounds like you've had some success in the public sector. How are you going to bridge and get to the private sector? You had mentioned that you were going to do paid advertising and strategic networking. Can you expand on that and give some details about what that would look like?
Yeah, great question, Kim. So one thing that I've done is connected with Michigan Recovery Workplaces, and they have a conference that works with the business sector in April, and I will be speaking at that event and networking at that event. And so I'm really excited about that. I have also joined the Chamber of Commerce in the Lansing area and have been attending the member mixers, the business roundtables, and other events. I've connected with LEAP, who's amazing, and then I'm working with a business consultant with SBDC. And so really trying to get out in the Mid-Michigan area, as well as this entire state of Michigan, to really share what I do and the importance of the work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kim had such a great question that it was also top of mind for me. So I'm going to expand a little bit. And part of this is because I come from kind of a communications and PR background. You know, it sounds like you're doing a really great job networking and putting yourself out there in the Lansing area. You know, what is your target goal for trying to break into the private sector? When you say that, are you focusing on big companies, or are you're moving from nonprofits to bigger companies? So what does that look like?
So I'm looking at mid-sized companies, probably between around 100 to 1,000 employees. Those who might have small HR firms or don't necessarily quite have an well, they'll likely have an HR firm at this point, but won't have that specialization in prevention. Really focused on that burnout prevention, looking at in lowering absenteeism, turnover, as well as reducing liability. And so that's really my target audience and who I want to segment.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, those are two great questions. Just to kind of round things out, I just wanted to get your opinion on what you've learned from the early feedback from those training sessions that you've conducted and some of the networking that you've done in regards to everything.
Yeah, that's a great question. And for the most part, I've been, really grateful and encouraged and excited that people are realizing they need this this support. There's still a lot of stigma around substance use disorders. And so publicly, I think we don't want to talk about it necessarily, but privately, we see the impact. With the rates of substance use disorders, we all know somebody, if not multiple people. And so I think it hits close to home. And nearly every conversation that I have, somebody shares a personal story or shares how important the work is. And so I think it's needed. I think the market is ready. The private sector is ready to approach this. And I'm going to have to overcome some of that stigma barrier. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, great job answering those questions. We still have a minute if anyone has either a question or comment that they'd like to make.
Yes. Can you talk about your competitors and, where you stand with them?
Yeah, so a lot of my competitors are either wellness consultants who have more of that generalized wellness knowledge. And again, my background is in public health. I went through, when I was in college, the framework that we used was the 8 dimensions of wellness or well-being that a lot of wellness practitioners and consultants utilize. And I used to hold that certification. And so I can speak to that background, but I know the science of substance misuse prevention inside and out. And so that's what differentiates me from a lot of those competitors. And then as far as some of the other competitors, EAPs, employee assistance programs, are a bit more reactive. They tend to be, if there is a problem or when there is a problem, employees are guided to that solution. Sometimes it's a bit more proactive, but usually employees aren't going to self-select in if they don't see a problem. Or something going on. And so I'm trying to address company culture and some of those, we call it upstream prevention. So prevention before solving the problem before it becomes a problem. And so what are some of those underlying issues? We look at risk and protective factors and really building up those protective factors, that resiliency, so that people don't even need EAPs. EAPs are great, and if we can lower the amount of people utilizing EAPs or things like that, can be helpful. And the last one is mindfulness apps. And again, really great solution. But sometimes I see people going to the wellness app after working an 80-hour work week and thinking, if I do 5 minutes of mindfulness, life is going to be better and everything is going to work out and life is going to be golden, rainbows and butterflies. And that's not how mindfulness necessarily works. Those apps aren't magic. They are really great tools and helpful. But if we don't change the environment and the workforce, it's going to be really hard to be super effective with those mindfulness apps.
Louise, really well said. We just hit our time here, so I'll let you go. Really great answers. We appreciate you so much starting us off so strong. So
Well done.
Go ahead, leave the StreamYard and head back to the Zoom waiting room with the other finalists. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, our next finalist is Osha Humphrey. She's the owner of Midwifery Care for All. Hi, Osha, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing really good. How are you, Gabe?
Great, great. And I got to say, your space behind you looks super cozy on this particularly cold day. So
Yes.
very jealous of you there. But thank you so much for being here, of course. Now,
Yes, thank you.
you know how this works. You'll have 3 minutes to do your pitch. If you happen to hit your time, I'll politely interrupt, just to let you know. and the timer will start as soon as you begin speaking. So without further ado, I will give you the floor. You can take a deep breath, prepare yourself, and whenever you're ready, you can begin.
Bright lights, yelling, chaos, coldness, loneliness, and then lights out. Awoken in an anesthesia fog by a tiny baby boy cry. Quietness, warmth, dim lights, love, support, power, encouragement. Baby girl brought to the chest. 2 birth stories, 2 different environments, 2 different providers, the same woman. Hi, my name is Osha Humphrey. I am a certified nurse midwife that practices home birth in Jackson County and surrounding areas. My business is Midwifery Care for All. I am starting a freestanding birth center in Jackson. A birth center is a viable option for low-risk pregnant individuals seeking alternatives outside of hospital birth and home birth. A birth center is a maxi home, not a miniature hospital. When my husband and I started to grow our family, seeking a birth center was not available in my community. So why is this an important need for Jackson County and beyond? As I finished my master's degree, I found that Jackson has some pretty astonishing maternity and neonatal statistics concerning low birth weight, preterm delivery, infant mortality, and pregnancy-related mortality. Jackson County outpaces the state of Michigan in 3 of these 4 areas, and the county's Black population number for fertility is double that of the state. How would a birth center impact these figures? There have been 2 national birth center studies done in 1989 and 2013. Even with 24 years difference, both studies had well over 11,000 individuals participate and proved 2 things. 1, decreased primary C-section rates, preterm deliveries, and low birth weight rates. 2, increased breastfeeding rates and client satisfaction rates. Jackson is a central hub. We are 1 hour from Lansing, Ann Arbor, Hillsdale, and Battle Creek. Ideally, 3 to 5% of births would occur in a birth center. Jackson had a little over 1,300 deliveries last year, and Lansing, 3,000. One piece of good news is House Bill 5636 passed. This means that birth centers that are licensed in the state of Michigan have the ability to be reimbursed through Medicaid, providing low-income mothers the option and benefits of a birth center. I have purchased land in Jackson County for a build-out, and I'm working with a nonprofit to facilitate grant funding. I am seeking $10,000 for land site planning and regulatory readiness that includes zoning approval, permits, and construction. This investment is more than a monetary value. This investment is about shifting the culture paradigm and making a positive change within the community. Thank you.
Osha, very well done. You had just 5 seconds left on the clock. You used a great amount of time, and you were super well animated too. Your delivery was awesome. Really well done.
Thank you, guys.
Now, you'll have 5 minutes here where the judges are able to all ask any questions that they may have. We can change the order a little bit. Let's start with Jessica, go to Connor, and then end with Kim.
You know, I really loved, you know, how your personal experiences have kind of shaped this idea. And I think that's really impactful and special. You know, do you have case studies of other places where this is implemented? And what do you think would be unique about bringing it to Jackson County?
Yes. So the 2 birth center studies that have been completed, the newer one in 2013 had over 15,000 individuals participate. And this actually proved that 94%, regardless of happening in the birth center or transferred to the hospital, a vaginal delivery did occur. So that's about a 6% cesarean birth rate. And the national average right now is 33%. Jackson right now, we're about 28%. So almost 1 in 3 women will have a cesarean birth. So with the statistics that I described, our low birth weight, which is less than 2,500 grams or 5.5 pounds, and our preterm delivery, which is a birth happening before the 37th week of pregnancy, we're about 11% and 18% compared to the state of Michigan, which is about 9 and 10% for those numbers. And then our infant mortality rate is pretty substantial for the Black population right now. To have it double that of the state, you wonder if, with the birth center, the whole care is midwifery model. We're centerizing the woman, we're centerizing the family, we're empowering her to make great choices, and we're building trust. We're doing one-on-one care. We're having at least an hour with her. So I've just noticed in the home birth practice, in the home birth realm of just the trust, the empowerment, the strength, the desire to want to do better, which I think is all very good foundational for maternity health here in Jackson.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, I really love your imagery and your passion for mid-household. I think it really definitely comes through the computer. My question was, you mentioned one of the, I believe it was a state bill that was passed in the House. How do you see that as a support for your business? Is this like a trend nationally that maybe coming to Michigan with that kind of House bill getting passed? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So Michigan was 9 states had not been implementing licensure for birth centers. So we did enter that just recently, and I read the licensure, and actually right now I have completed all my policies and procedures for this building. And so right out the gate when we open, I'm going to be licensed. That's a very important thing for me. What it states is that, we have to have certain safety implementations, like certain safety aspects for transfers. And I think it's going to be really important to continue conversations and have partnerships with the local hospital here. The location of where the birth center is going to be is about 10 minutes away from the hospital. We're about 2 minutes away from a fire department. So really working with the community so that if we do need a higher level of care, that's very seamless. And that's what the licensure kind of embeds, having those safety procedures in place. But it also allows Medicaid to recognize that in order to reimburse. And then we know Medicaid, low income individuals, they're the ones that really need this care, that accessibility of this care, having that as an option for their care. The Birth Center study showed that 24% of individuals were on Medicaid in that study, and it showed a substantial amount of cost savings even for the healthcare system.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Osha, I love your passion, and obviously you're very
Thank you, Kim.
knowledgeable. I think, I'm just trying to understand how you will get the patients. It sounds like there's a big educational component to drawing these people in, or even marketing. How will you do that?
Yes, I love this question because I really truly believe knowledge is power. Maya Angelou said, the more you know, the better you do. And ever since I heard that quote, that's driven me immensely, because after my second delivery, I wanted to scream from the rooftops, like, we have options. And I think being part of the community is going to be really important. I'm still a nurse up at the hospital in labor and delivery. So really just getting the conversations to continue, getting my voice out there, and being able to provide those educational sessions with families, with women, so that they know they have different options available.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Excellent. Great questions all around, and a really great pitch, Osha. A very, very unique business model, and a super, inspiring kind of industry to get into for sure. So thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, we'll let you go now. You can leave StreamYard and
Well done.
rejoin the other finalists in the Zoom.
Guys, have a good night.
Thank you. All right, our next finalist is none other than Megan Shipman, owner of Meg's Coffee. Hi, Megan. How are you doing?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I'm good. Do you go typically by Meg or by Megan?
I usually go by Megan more than Meg, but either will do.
Perfect. We'll call you Megan. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. Coffee shops is definitely a favorite industry of mine, of course. But you know how this business works. You have 3 minutes to pitch. The timer will start as soon as you begin speaking. So without further ado, the floor is yours. You can go ahead and take a deep breath. And whenever you are ready, you can begin.
Imagine the perfect cup of coffee warming your hands. If I could share a cup with you today, it would be a blend from my roaster called Funky Monkey. It's one of my personal favorites, and it's sourced from 2 farms in Guatemala. One brings bold chocolatey undertones, while the other brings a bright, fruity complexity. Together, they create a balanced specialty coffee. This is the kind of unique, story-driven experience that I aim to bring to the market. Coffee that's thoughtfully crafted and locally roasted. Hi, I'm Megan Chipman, and I'm the founder and owner of Meg's Coffee, a mobile coffee trailer serving premium specialty coffee drinks at a regular spot in the town of Saranac and at private events. We serve lattes, brewed coffee, cold brew, tea, lemonade, cookies, and muffins. Our coffee beans are sourced from a local roaster, and our baked goods are from a renowned bakery here in town. Saranac is small, but it is strategically positioned. It serves as a connector between several major east to west roadways, including M21 and I-96. Residents and commuters from surrounding areas regularly pass through Saranac, with the heaviest traffic being in morning hours. This is driven by school drop-offs and commuters traveling to work. Their only option today for coffee is a gas station, and that's where I come in with Meg's Coffee, serving specialty coffee that's not 10 miles out of their way. The truck, the trailer, and equipment are ready to go. Menus are finalized, suppliers secured, and licensing is underway. With my background in business, my hands-on coffee experience, and my deep roots in this community, I am uniquely positioned to launch Meg's Coffee. I spent years in business administration, even helping build a company from the ground up. And when I stepped back to prepare for maternity leave with my second child, a part-time job at a coffee shop unexpectedly changed everything, and I fell in love with the craft and the connection that it creates. For years, I've blended my skills in business, coffee, and food service while raising my family, and now I'm ready to bring it all together with Meg's Coffee. If I win the $10,000, these funds will strengthen the foundation of my business from day one. The largest investment will be a battery-based power system that replaces my current full reliance on a gas generator. This upgrade reduces noise, exhaust, and operating costs while giving me clean, dependable power. The gas generator would remain only as a backup when necessary. The remaining funds will support online ordering and a loyalty program. It will add exterior lighting for safety and for visibility, and allow me to expand my team for high-traffic events. These changes could increase revenue by $22,000 in the first year and allow Meg's Coffee to start strong, serve better, and grow faster. Thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward to bringing a better cup of coffee to Saranac.
Great job, Megan. You ended at 2 minutes and 59 seconds. You used all the time you had and you got it all out. So really good job. Now the judges here will have 5 minutes to ask you any questions or comments that they may have. We'll start this time with Connor, we'll go to Kim, and then end with Jessica.
Hi, Megan. First off, I wanted to say I really love the idea of the whole dollar pricing. I thought that was a very smart concept, especially like you said, just to kind of have fast iterations. Real quick, I was just curious, like, what is Meg's Coffee's like 12-month plan? Like, are you guys looking at kind of with being a mobile coffee stand? Do you see like that you'll kind of move about like the town, or will there be partnerships formed to kind of have like a central location within there?
Yeah, so a little bit of both of those things. So right now, my plan is to get started at a regular spot where I'll set up once a week, just to get things started in the town of Saranac, get that reputation and that buzz continuing to grow, and also do events on the weekends. I already actually have a wedding booked in June. I have a couple of local events, community events that are really huge around here in the community that they've already reached out to me and asked me to be there. So I'll be doing a mix of events and regular setup.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great job, Megan. Love your enthusiasm and your slides. I thought they were great. Got a question about the gas station that's your only competition. What do they sell coffee for? What's the price there?
It is, I'm not sure like what just a regular cup of coffee is. It's comparable to me. But I would say that my edge is that I'm more accessible. They're kind of, it's kind of hard to get in and out. There's only a few spots. And so I think that the advantage of coming to me is that my regular spot is with a parking lot, and I'm right next to the busiest intersection in town where a lot of people flow in and out in the morning. And so I'm visible, I'm right there, whereas the gas station is kind of down a little ways and not as easy to access. So
Great.
Great job, Megan. I thought you had a really nice description too of how you would use the prize money if awarded. So I thought that was excellent. Curious, it sounds like you've identified a need that within Saranac, and that's great. Because you're such a unique business and could travel, or is that something that you are looking at in the long term, or is that something you just want to get established first locally and then think about what's next?
Yeah, thanks for asking that question, actually. So I originally, I think my end goal of all of this is to have a brick and mortar spot in Saranac. I think that the trailer allows me to get started, build my reputation, solidify these relationships in the community, and build that customer base so that when I do open a shop, I would have immediate, consistent support right from the get-go, and know that I can depend on that money coming in right away. So that is the end goal eventually. Yeah.
That's excellent. Thank you. One of my favorite places in Clinton County started off as a mobile. So that's great.
That's awesome.
Nice. Well, judges, we still have a minute and a half if anyone has another question or comment that they'd like to make. All right. Looks like we're all set. Well, Megan, again, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you being here. You can now head out of StreamYard and rejoin everyone in the Zoom, and we'll hear from you a little later.
Okay, thank you.
Good job.
All right. Excuse me. Up next is our next finalist, Jillian Whitley, owner of J. Margaret. Hi, Jillian.
Hello.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Very good. Very glad to have you here. Thank you so much. So if we can get right into it, your slides are ready. Jillian, as you know, you have 3 minutes to pitch. The timer will start as soon as you begin speaking. If you happen to hit that time, I'll politely interrupt just to let you know. But without further ado, the floor is yours. So go ahead and take a deep breath. And whenever you're ready, you can begin.
Hi, I'm Jillian, and I'm the founder of J. Margaret. Today, I'm seeking $10,000 to scale my gold-filled jewelry brand. J. Margaret creates a modern take on timeless jewelry inspired by my mother and great-grandmother's love for the pieces that they wore daily, treasured deeply, and lasted for years. Growing up, I loved jewelry, but the pieces I could afford came with some problems. They turned my skin green, caused irritation, and tarnished quickly. On top of that, many were designed around micro-trends, making them feel disposable after just one season. There was a clear gap between affordable jewelry and jewelry that actually lasts and has meaning behind it. To solve this, I built J. Margaret around gold-filled materials, which is a thick layer of gold bonded to a base metal, making our pieces tarnish-resistant, waterproof, hypoallergenic, and long-lasting without that huge solid gold price tag. Our designs are intentionally classic with a modern edge and avoiding that micro-trend issue with the designs so customers can wear their pieces for years and years to come, such as the pieces I'm wearing today. Each product also includes a story and is showing the inspiration behind the design, creating that emotional connection between the piece and the customer and the feeling of owning an heirloom, not just an accessory. Today, J. Margaret sells primarily online, D2C, through our website, as well as through in-person pop-ups, and with 5 retailers across the country, including New York City, California, Texas, Hawaii, and more. Customers consistently choose J. Margaret because it delivers what other affordable jewelry brands don't: confidence, comfort, and longevity. As demand grows, especially through wholesale, gifting, and bridal, I'm ready to scale production and expand our reach while staying true to our quality and brand values. Today, I'm seeking $10,000 to exponentially grow J. Margaret, with 30% being put towards manufacturing, including opening a production account, CAD development, sampling, and our next production run, as well as 40% being added for wholesale expansion with increased inventory so we can reach more retailers across the country, as well as increased number of trade shows around the country. Lastly, 30% will be invested into marketing and promotion, including paid Meta, Google, and Pinterest ads, gifted and paid collaborations through the platform ShopMy, and in-person activations to really help grow that community. This funding will help optimize operations, expand market reach, and build a strong foundation for sustainable growth. J. Margaret started as a solution to a problem that I personally experienced, and it's grown into a brand that customers truly trust. With your support, I'm ready to take the next step and scale J. Margaret intentionally. Thank you.
Very smooth, Jillian, and great job. Congratulations. You ended at 2 minutes and 51 seconds. So very smooth, very well done.
Thank you.
Now we will open it to questions or comments from the judges. And we can start now with Kim, go to Jessica, and then end with Connor. You guys will have 5 minutes, and I'll keep track.
Jillian, well done. I can't believe you're selling in all these different states and New York City. It's exciting, really. I got a question for you. How does it work? What if a piece of jewelry breaks? Do you have a warranty, or how do you back your work for the quality?
Yeah, so I have a return window of 30 days from when the customer purchased the item. So within that, they can reach out to me, and this info is on my website as well as under the product description, so they know where to go. So within that 30 days, they can reach out to me explaining what necessarily happened, if it was an issue with the quality of the product. So that kind of protects the customer. After that, it's really on them because it could possibly be damaged by something that they may have done. Once a customer's dog ripped the necklace off, so it's not necessarily the quality of the product. But yeah, I do have that return period for the customer. So if something does happen, they can always reach out to me and fix that.
As a follow-up, is there a high return rate? What is your return rate as a percentage?
It's a very low percentage. Over the past few years, I've only had about 2 returns out of 250 orders, I'd say, give or take.
Wow.
In person, ones that weren't tracked through ShopMy or Shopify. So it's a very low return rate, and customers usually have high durability with all their products and don't have any complaints. So,
all right, great job.
Thank you.
I think it's my turn. This is such a cool idea, and I love the concept of upcycling jewelry. Any reason that you started doing this? Did something like, treasured, get damaged and you had to fix it? I was just curious in the why.
Yeah, so I had always kind of wanted to start a business, but didn't really know what. And during COVID, actually, I was going through my mom's jewelry collection, and her grandmother, so my great grandma, got her into fashion and jewelry and everything. And I was just mesmerized by the rings, bracelets, everything that she owned. And I loved the classic and traditional styles, but everything that I could afford at the time was really cheap, like Forever 21 jewelry that would tarnish my skin and cause irritation. And they didn't have those very classic styles that had the longevity with the design. So I did some research, found gold filled, and kind of wanted to emulate those classic designs, but in a slightly more modern way. So you could wear it I could wear it in my everyday life, but wouldn't have to worry about it going out of trend. So it's very much inspired by those classic pieces that my mom and great grandmother had, but with a modern edge to it. And going back on like the story element, I have a necklace named after my grandma It's just like a single pearl. It's called the Vivian necklace. And you can read about the story on my website. The customers can kind of see the inspiration behind it and kind of connect that with the more vintage, like style and classic piece to the more modern piece that I made. So it's really the inspiration behind each design.
It's really cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, really cool. I love the story and how it's kind of inspired you to where you are today. I was curious. You mentioned that you were in 5 retailers across a couple different states. What have been your entry barriers that you've experienced, or what do you kind of seem to face as you're growing your reach?
Yeah, so I started selling wholesale back in August. I'm a current senior right now at Michigan State, and I had an internship with a fashion brand in New York where I did a lot of wholesale work. So I kind of took what I learned and started doing that myself through the platform Fair. And some retailers kind of just saw me organically with what I had built on Fair and like having good SEO and everything. And some barriers that I purposely made my minimum order quantity pretty low just so I could get into those first few retailers. And there was less of a barrier for me between me and the retailers. So I have a very low MOQ right now at $100 in total for the order. And a barrier that I have noticed recently is just getting more pieces and a more collection with the retailers instead of a retailer maybe just getting a few necklaces, and instead offering earrings to go with the necklaces and more just a whole collection, a bracelet to go along with it, so I can really show my brand. Additionally, another thing that I noticed was making sure that my brand showed through when selling to these retailers. So I adjusted my packaging to be from the all green that my logo is to more of a cream and neutral to make sure that it went along with their stores and that I made sure that they would promote it because it just blends in more with their aesthetic while also staying true to my branding and having that logo in the green, but sizing it down a little bit. So that was another barrier, is the packaging and how to do that with retail as opposed to e-commerce.
Got it. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much again, Jillian. You did great and you answered all the questions well. So we can let you go and head back to the Zoom waiting room with the other finalists, and we'll hear more from you later. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Go green.
All right. Our next finalist here is Dr. Darla Bishop, owner of Finances. Hi, Dr. Darla. How are you?
Good, good. How is the audio?
The audio sounds good. So I feel like I've got to let the judges and the audience know because it's such an amazing story. Dr. Darla here is actually because of a delayed flight pitching from the airport. Which airport are you at again?
I'm at Ronald Reagan or DCA.
All right. Well, we've had many pictures from airports, from coffee shops before, and it hasn't stopped them, and it's not going to stop you. So I know you're going to do well here. Now, here are your slides. You obviously know you have 3 minutes to pitch. If you happen to hit that time, I'll politely just let you know, and the timer will start as soon as you begin speaking. So without further ado, the floor is yours. Go ahead, take a deep breath, and whenever you're ready, you can begin.
By the time kids turn 7, they have a tablet, a calendar full of birthday parties, and strong opinions about how I stock this fridge. Sometimes they even have more influence over family spending than the adults. Here's why this concerns me. By age 7, core money habits are already formed, but most financial education does not start until high school, if ever. And these consequences are measurable. 1 in 2 adults lack basic financial literacy, and this is a number that hasn't improved in a decade. Poor money habits cost families about $1,000 per year, and life expectancy can differ by up to 20 years between zip codes based on credit health. This isn't just a money issue. This is a public health issue. Hi, I'm Dr. Darla Bishop, public health scientist, entrepreneur, and co-creator of Piggy Bank Pathways. I built this at the intersection of behavioral science, lived experience, as a mom who has budgeted down to the penny while my kids have watched, and as a professional who understands how systems shape outcomes. Piggy Bank Pathways is a bilingual plug and play financial literacy ecosystem for children ages 4 to 10 and their families. We combine storybooks, classroom ready tools, take home conversation prompts, and so that we can build real habits early. This is a family and community intervention disguised as a children's book series. This is co-created with my 7-year-old daughter, Madeline, because the people we are serving deserve a seat at the table. When children learn about earning, saving, and giving, they bring those lessons home. Conversations shift, confidence grows, and habits change. And yes, of course, there are adult programs, teen apps, and standalone money books on the market, but no one else connects early learners and caregivers in one cohesive standard aligned system built with real world implementation. We've already been proving demand. We are actually negotiating a 17,000 book order with a local organization. We are partnering with the Michigan Department of Treasury on the My Money Matters launch, and we have Community Reinvestment Act or CRA aligned partnerships with MSU, FCU, and Case Credit Union. Also, we've grown revenue from $4,000 in 2023 to more than $40,000 in 2025, with $127,000 projected as we convert our pilots into licensing agreements. Because of the $10,000 investment you have made today, we are going to allocate $5,000 to expand program coordination so we can convert our pilot sites into multi-location contracts, invest $3,000 in licensing and fulfillment systems to prepare for state-level opportunities, and deploy $2,000 toward targeted outreach across Michigan to accelerate our contract conversion. Your investment positions us to turn proven traction into six-figure agreements. If money habits form by 7, we cannot wait until 17. Thank you for helping us to build financially confident families and communities.
Amazing job, Darla. You ended right at 3 minutes, right on the money. So very well done. And I love the storybook idea, of course. You know, the airport didn't stop you at all. You did great.
My neighbor is looking at me like, what is this woman doing?
Well, we'll open this now to questions from the judges, where we'll have just 5 minutes, and then we can let you catch your flight. We can start first with Connor, go to Kim, and then to Jessica.
Awesome. I'll kick things off. Darla, you should send over the YouTube link so they can see what you're doing. Wanted to see if you could expand upon some of the services that you provide just a little bit more. I know you mentioned the book. I was curious about the family aspect that was kind of brought up.
Yes. Thank you so much for asking. So for families, we have books, conversation cards, and activities that can be done in the home. At the school, we actually have a full plug-and-play curriculum for teachers to use, and it's modular. So if a teacher has the ability to do it in 3 segments as part of social studies or even math, or if they want to do it more in a assembly setting, it is modular and flexible. And because of the conversation cards and books that can go home, that means that the families and the teachers, or the families in the after school program, or the teachers in the after school program, are all speaking the same language. So these lessons really get cemented in the kids. And I don't know if you know any young kids, but as soon as they learn this stuff at school, hand washing, seatbelt safely, they become the enforcers of these new rules. And so the same thing happens with money. All of a sudden, they're telling you, well, did you save some? Or mom, did you check your piggy bank before you bought that? And so it gets the whole family engaged in these saving and spending and giving habits in a way that actually feels joyful and curious like the kids.
Thank you.
Connor, I had the same question. I wanted to know, if you can give me an example of how you get the family involved. And
so,
go ahead.
Yeah. And so if say you're a homeschool mom, or just a mom who learns about our books because of some of the marketing we've done, the easiest way, the point of entry for families, is to purchase our book, and that comes with activity sheets. And then later, part of this funding is actually helping to support our conversation cards, because right now it's just a sheet of conversation prompts, but we want to turn those into a card deck, because those are easy for the kids, and kids are used to having flashcards. So that's how the most point of entry for a family. Now, if the point of entry was the school, and then the teacher has sent home a book, the conversation cards, or a little note to the family, like, this unit, we are doing this. So your child might start to ask questions about earning, saving, spending, and giving. Here's how we've defined them.
Great answer. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
I think you just did a really great job, and it's unbelievable to me that you're in the airport. So, great job presenting and staying on time. You had a lot of really interesting statistics about folks who are struggling with financial literacy, and when is time to start saving. I guess, could you just tell me a little bit about the personal aspect, about what kind of sparked your interest in this? You seem very passionate about it.
Yeah. So, in my own journey to financial wellness, is what I like to call it, I actually read more than 100 personal finance books. And it shouldn't take anyone that many. And so I wrote my own book back in 2023. That's when I launched this business called How to Afford Everything. And Madeline, let me see if I can get her in the frame. Maddie there. Was 6 at the time, and I had her, as most parents who own a business had her working in the business. I said, Maddie, I need you to pack up 25 books because I had an order. And as she was counting 10, 11, 12, Mama, when do I get to write a book? And I said, baby, you want to write a book? She said, yeah, I'd love that. And I said, okay, but it's got to be about money, because I can help you if it's about money. If it's about something else, I don't know. And so that's how Madeline's Money Adventure, which is the first book in the series, got started. Maddie told me this awesome story about what lessons she wanted to teach kids. And while it was with the illustrator getting drawn, I built the curriculum around it, because the great thing about having a doctorate is they do teach you a little bit about curriculum development. And I know that while there is fantastic work happening around the country, thanks to the now almost 32 states who have put legislation in place to make sure that our high schoolers are graduating with at least half a semester of financial literacy, that there are some institutions, elementary schools, after school programs, even welfare and social service organizations who want to have these lessons come up earlier in the process, because sometimes we can get to the kids better than we can get to the grown-ups. And so I wanted to be able to be a companion for that pre-K, that 4-year-old to 10-year-old fifth grader, to bookend what some of our national competitors, peers, whatever you want to call them, like Jumpstart or Junior Achievement, who are really great at that high schooler age, aren't quite yet doing for our pre-K to 10-year-olds.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Excellent. Well, Darla, great job. You did amazing, and you answered all these questions super well, especially under not ideal circumstances, of course. No one, I think, could have been able to tell if I didn't tell the audience. So you did a great job.
Thanks
Good
so much
job,
for having
Darla.
me.
Absolutely. We'll let you leave. You can rejoin the Zoom, and hopefully you can get on your flight back home soon.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Take care. All right. Well, that concludes our startup businesses. So judges, I will let you guys go so you can tally up those scores. And I sent you each an email where you can send them when you have your totals. As for everyone else, we're going to take a short break before we get into the established businesses. Go ahead, take 5 minutes, stretch your legs, refill your drink, and we will be right back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back, and welcome if you're just joining us. Before we get started on our established business category, I just wanted to say that if you're watching these pitches and you're feeling a little inspired or maybe a little nervous in a good way, then that's exactly how every finalist here once felt. WomanUp and Pitch is a supportive, high-energy experience designed to help entrepreneurs grow, connect, and compete for real funding. So if you want in next year, then fill out our interest form and we'll keep you in the loop when applications open. The link is in the chat and you can also see it on the screen here below, miwf.org/pitch 2026. Thank you. Now let's welcome back our judges here again. Hello, judges. Looks like Jessica might still be on a little break, but we will be able to get our pitches started. Oh, there she is.
I'm here.
Perfect. Just in time. Well, without further ado, we can go ahead and introduce our first established business, Amy Nylander, owner of Create a Character. Hi, Amy. How are you doing?
Hi there. Good. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you again for joining us and for kicking off our established business category. We really appreciate it, of course. Now we have your slides ready so we can get right into it.
Great.
Amy, you know how this works. You have 3 minutes to pitch, and I will be keeping track of the time. Timer will start as soon as you begin speaking. So without further ado, go ahead, take a deep breath. Whenever you're ready, you can begin.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Amy Nylander.
Oh, I can't hear her.
Uh-oh. Can you not hear me?
I can hear.
Kim,
Can
do
you hear
want to
me?
try to Kim, do you want to try leaving the stream and then coming back in a second?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Can
I can
anyone hear me?
I can hear you, and I believe Jessica can. Connor, you can hear.
Good.
Perfect. Well, we can give it a quick test, and then if Kim comes back and she says she can't hear, I did send her the YouTube link, so maybe she can watch through the live stream and be able to hear that way, because obviously we need the judges to be able to hear the great pitch. So give it a brief moment. She should come back any second. In the meantime, everyone in the chat, I can see that our great friend Julia is posting Amy's website, actually. So make sure you check that out.
Thanks.
Kim, welcome back. Amy, do you want to give a test really quick, see if she can hear you?
Sure. Can everyone hear me?
Now I can
Good?
hear
Perfect.
you. Okay, great.
Super.
Thank you.
All right,
All right.
I'll reset the timer. We'll refocus. Amy, the floor is
Okay.
yours. Whenever you
Yeah.
are ready, you can take that deep breath again, recenter. You can begin.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Amy Nylander. I'm a designer, children's book author, illustrator, and founder of Create a Character. Create a Character is a brand that empowers families to draw together regularly. These screen-free moments foster deep connections through active listening, storytelling, and eye contact without distractions. After 10 years of visiting schools, I have learned that drawing is a shared interest among children. Whether I'm in a classroom filled with 5-year-olds or an auditorium packed with 3rd to 5th graders, kids get excited about using their imaginations. The shared interest stretches across districts and ages. But drawing can feel daunting for adults. A blank sheet of paper with no instructions can trigger discomfort for a parent. Creativity turns into pressure. How do you turn nothing into something? That's when Create a Character steps in. It fills the gap and makes drawing fun for all ages. It begins with curiosity, inviting families to start with a shape. This playful practice began with my kids. It was a weekly ritual rooted in imagination, problem solving, and sketches. The goal was simple: turn 4 shapes into characters, then share our ideas. There were no wrong answers and all characters were welcome. These drawing dates lasted about 10 minutes, and I shared our process on my blog. Today, Create a Character is a growing brand, a drawing activity that is transforming into a scalable body of products and services. In 2024, I launched parent-child drawing workshops and released Create a Character Book 1. Workshops introduce families to the concept of drawing together, while books empower them to establish a drawing practice at home. In my first year, I partnered with 6 libraries and led 12 workshops. In year 2, I teamed up with 9 libraries, 2 mental health organizations, and a senior living center. I led 26 workshops and my first grandparent-grandchild workshop. Last year, I participated in Detroit Month of Design and launched the One Shape 100 Characters community activity. This pop-up event featured a Create a Character gallery. We celebrated inclusion and belonging. Parent-child interactions are crucial for child development. I have seen meaningful connections flourish when devices are replaced with pencils. Tonight, I'm asking for your support. Your $10,000 investment will expand marketing efforts and enable responsible scaling. Let's help families thrive together and build a community where all characters are welcome. Thank you for this opportunity.
Great job, Amy. You started us off really strong. We ended just at 3 minutes, so you hit the mark perfect. Very well done. Very smooth.
Thank you.
Now we'll open this up to 5 minutes for questions or comments that the judges may have. We can start with Kim, go to Connor, and then end with Jessica.
Well done, Amy. I love how you identified that there is a problem, I think, lacking with, the screen times and whatnot, and how do we connect and what do we replace that screen with, right? Are you an artist by background, or how did you, I know you mentioned that you worked with your kids, but how'd you get here?
Sure. So I'm a product designer by trade. I attended CCS and I have a degree in product design. I always loved storytelling. My mom was a big storyteller, and she would write stories and I would illustrate them for fun with her. And when I was working as a product designer, I was in Chicago for a while and spent time there. But when we started our family, that was when I decided to step out of the corporate world and really explore creativity. I didn't feel like I was really using my maximum potential. And so I decided to explore illustration and writing.
Oh, great job.
Thank you.
Hey, Amy. I really enjoyed your pitch. I thought you gave a thorough analysis of the problem and how your resolution with the create a character will solve that. I was curious on what kind of partnerships have you developed through these years, like with this business and with this idea?
Sure. So I've been working with libraries mostly. In 2024, I began reaching out to Detroit libraries. I spent time, my first visit was in Elmwood, then Chandler Park. I spent time there. It has grown since then. So Ann Arbor, I've been working with. I was at Grosse Pointe as well. Commerce, White Lake Township, Livonia, Saline, Southfield. So it's just been growing over the last few months.
Wow, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amy, you are such a better mom than I was. I just think that is so cool. And, a lot of parents, at least in my experience, want to make that connection, but just kind of lack the tools or the ideas and the creativity to do so. So I really like this. I think starting with libraries was really smart. And I noticed when you outlined, how you would use the funds, you said marketing, what's next in terms of target audiences for you?
Sure. So I really would like to explore the senior living centers and mental health organizations. I did team up with 2 last summer, and I really enjoyed working with the clinicians there. And they actually sat in on our workshops, which was fabulous. And then the senior living center, we celebrated Grandparents' Day and we did a grandparent-grandchild workshop. So I think there's opportunity there to grow, especially to coordinate with that month celebrating Grandparents' Day. I also ultimately would love to learn more about wholesaling and approach children's hospitals. I feel like this would be a fantastic tool for families with kids in the hospital, short-term, long-term. They can use this as a tool to just tell stories, communicate, and just spend time engaging in a fun art form. Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Well done. We still have about a minute if anyone has another question or comment that they'd like to make.
I do. I love how you partnered with all these libraries and senior centers. Tell me about Connor had a question earlier up to one of the other presenters. What have been the barriers that you have, come across that have been tough that you've been able, to get over?
Well, it's a lot of not knowing what to do next, but doing it anyway. I don't have, this is all new territory for me and navigating it. So I've had to make decisions, even though I'm not 100% certain on them, but still move forward because I am in these partnerships and I've made commitments. And so that is what's driving me. And that's why I'm here. I'm here hoping to get more support and be able to find a community where I can ask questions to and grow as a business.
Well done.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, Amy, thank you so much for starting off our established categories so well. We really appreciate it. You can go ahead and head out of StreamYard and rejoin the other finalists. We'll hear from you later.
Okay. Thank you, judges.
Thank you. Have a good night. All right. And our next finalist is Tiffany Newman, owner of For Your Brand Legacy. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi, everyone. So great to be here. Thank you, Gabe.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you taking your time to be able to share your business. So you know how this process will work. You have 3 minutes now to do your pitch. The timer will start as soon as you begin speaking. So without further ado, the floor is yours. Go ahead and take a deep breath. And whenever you're ready, you can begin.
All right. Thank you. So we are living in the era of the thought leader. Coaches, consultants, authors, and speakers have left the corporate world and are building businesses and launching high impact work. But behind the scenes, most of them are operating with an integrated infrastructure. The result is inconsistent messaging, websites that often don't convert, and AI that amplifies noise instead of the clarity. This leads to lost revenue at critical moments, like when authors have book launches, keynote talks, and major product releases. So BrandOS Pro, if my slides will move, there we go, is the first AI integrated brand and website operating system built specifically for these thought leaders specifically. Instead of hiring a strategist, a copywriter, a designer, a developer, and duct taping it all together, we install a complete operating system for them. We clarify their positioning and branding. We build a high converting website within just 2 weeks and integrate AI the right way for ongoing marketing. It's faster and more affordable than a traditional agency, more cohesive than doing it themselves, and built to evolve as they grow. The thought leader economy is expanding rapidly and the demand is there. For nearly 8 years, I've worked directly with this audience in my business and building high-end brand systems one client at a time. It was an enjoyable work, but it was slow and it was a big investment. So this new product of BrandOS Pro is the scalable evolution of that work. I know this model works and I'm excited to scale it and have a much larger impact by helping more thought leaders make their message a movement and have a positive impact in the world. BrandOS Pro operates on a tiered model depending on the level of implementation needed. Tier 1 is brand messaging and strategy. Tier 2 is full website implementation. And Tier 3 is both of those together with high-touch strategic consulting with myself. And we have reoccurring subscription revenue built in for AI marketing tools and website maintenance. And because this model does leverage AI done the right way, it scales without proportional operational overhead, which means we can increase the margin while also increasing the impact. So the $10,000 from WomanUp will build a scalable digital marketing system and targeted advertising so we can really generate predictable, consistent client acquisition without increasing that overhead. And so we can help, again, more thought leaders create their message and make their messages a movement. So this is the long-term vision, is to really help expand the global thought leader economy while staying true to our values and rooted in innovation, integrity, and legacy. Because the next generation of experts doesn't need more tools, they actually need a scalable system. Thank you so much for your time.
Great job, Tiffany. You also just ended at 3 minutes. Perfect timing. It was just about to go over, but you hit it. So very well done. Thank you so much for sharing your business and your pitch with us tonight. Now, I'll open this up for 5 minutes with the judges where they can ask any questions or comments that they may have. We can start this time with Connor, then go to Jessica, and then end with Kim. I might be repeating myself there, but it's just the first order that I saw you guys in.
That's perfect. Thank you, Tiffany, for the lovely presentation. Real quick, what have you learned from earlier versions of the product as you're going through the AI model? What iterations have you learned the most from?
Yeah, so specifically from building from scratch, AI is a new tool, as we all know. It's moving very quickly, and we're keeping up with that as it goes. So I really started with simple chat GPT prompts and agents first. When that first came out, I mean, it's been out for a little while, but about a year and a half ago. And then I quickly found that that model wasn't as integrated as I wanted it to be. And now I was able to actually create agents and a software. So it moves people through the system instead of these a lot of fragmented agents. It's one tool bringing them through. So I'm really excited that I was able to do that. And then also looking forward to consistently upgrading, because, you know, the software and the technology is just changing at light speed.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Am I the next question? Okay. Great job, Tiffany. I think this is really creative. And, you know, I like how you try to make technology understandable. You know, to piggyback off a little bit of your answer to Connor, you know, technology changes so quickly. Is that a challenge with this operating system? You know, something that you would implement and then it would change before folks could really, you know, get their hands around it or implement it?
Yeah, great question. So we built a tool for that, for it to be able to like evolve with it. So we utilize different LLMs. So say ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude. And so as those new LLMs are created or as they shift, it automatically updates in our system. So that's the beauty of it. We have most of it, like originally it was chat that we used. And then we realized, oh, Claude's and Gemini is so much faster and better right now already. And so we just changed the model on the back end. So it's also really helping people from having all these, if they're into AI, having all these different subscriptions, it's just all in one tool. And or if people are like, I just don't know anything about AI, it makes it really simple for them.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done, Tiffany. I got to tell you, I am not a techie person, but and I went to your website and that helped me out a lot. So that was great. How has I know you're used to being on the consultant side, but how are you transitioning to selling the software and the operating system and the branding AI? How do you bridge that from being a consultant? I guess you already have your network of people.
Yes, yeah. So I have the network. From the past 8 years, I'm really serving the same audience. And so it's actually been fairly seamless because I saw the decline in people wanting like the high-end brand strategy and investing in the high-end bespoke websites with the advent of AI. Once that happened, it kind of immediately, so I just saw the writing on the wall and I was like, okay, if I don't pivot and integrate this or change, you know, I'm probably not going to have much of a business, or it would shrink a little bit. So I still do those services, but I found the clients were really asking for it. And so I just said, let me just dive in and figure this out. Luckily, I do love technology. And I was also an adjunct professor at Kendall College of Art and Design, and taught there. And so I'm able to utilize, like, one of my goals is to bring on interns from the schools and help them, learn these new tools and everything too.
Great. Love that.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, Tiffany, great job. You did the thing. Congratulations. And thank you for answering all the questions that everyone had. We can go ahead and let you go back to the Zoom waiting room, and we'll hear more from you later.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Tiffany. Take care.
You too.
All right. Up next, we have a mother-daughter duo of Jen and Jillian Brayman. Hi, guys. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Thank you both so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We'll be able to have your slides here ready. So you know what the rules are. You have 3 minutes to do your pitch. The timer will start as soon as you begin speaking. So without further ado, you both can go ahead, take a deep breath. When you're both ready, you can begin.
All right. Well, I'm just really overwhelmed. I've been feeling really anxious lately. I'm looking for a space to kind of find a community and calm down a little bit. Okay, I'm wondering if my mom is on here.
Jen, can you hear us, Jen?
There we go. Okay.
Hi, Jen, can you hear us? I think we lost sound for you for a second there. Can you hear us, Jen? I don't think she can hear us.
Okay, I'll just take it over then. I can do the whole pitch.
Okay, that's no problem, Jillian. Thank you so much. I'll restart the timer for you, and whenever you're ready, you can begin.
I'm having trouble hearing.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hi, I'm Jillian. I am Jen's daughter and the business manager of Denny's House. We're a women-owned mental health and wellness organization in downtown Newaygo. We were created to expand access to trauma-informed care in rural Michigan. We began in 2017 as a solo practice in just a 400 square foot space, but we've grown into a 2,400 square foot historic home where therapy feels warm, approachable, and human. At Jenny's House, we envision a sustainable, integrated ecosystem where mental health care, trauma-informed wellness, and creative connection all coexist. This cohesive system, it allows individuals, families, and communities to truly bloom. Our mission is simple, but it's impactful: to make therapy approachable, wellness accessible, and community kindness visible. By blending clinical therapy with creative programming and acts of connection, we are redefining what rural mental health care can look like. We bring this vision to life through multiple entry points to care. First, our licensed clinicians provide counseling services that sustain our earned revenue model. But often your first touch point with Jenny's House will be our Bloom Boutique and Lounge, where we offer a stigma-free space for connection. And here you can get a cup of tea and browse around at our selection of wellness products delivered by locally made vendors. In addition, you will also come in contact with our events and festivals. For example, we just hosted in summer of 2025 our first Kindness Festival, where we had hundreds of attendees, and it just brought together a good community there. And then lastly, through our nonprofit partner, Hearts United, we're able to deliver donation-based wellness programming that expands access across our rural community and just allows more people into our space. So our model is already showing to work. In 2025, Jenny's House generated over $400,000 in revenue while utilizing just 22% of our building capacity. At full staffing, we expect that same infrastructure to support over $2 million in projected revenue by 2028. The space is built, the demand is proven, now we are ready to scale. In local data, mental health access remains the #1 identified need in Newaygo County due to provider shortages, stigma, and just cost barriers. With your support, we plan to expand our clinician workforce, standardize trauma-informed training, and improve accessibility for everyone through an ADA entrance ramp and enhance our outdoor wellness space. This investment allows us to serve more people while preserving the warmth that defines Jenny's house. Thank you, and let's bloom together.
All right, great job. You ended at 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So really well done and a great recovery there. I know we had a little bit of tech issues. Hi, Jen, are you able to hear us now, or are we still having any tech issues? It looks like we are, but that's okay. I know, Jillian, you know the business just as well as your mother, so you'll be able to answer these questions.
Okay.
We'll have about 5 minutes where the judges will ask anything, and I'll let them take it from here. We can start this time with Kim, go to Jessica, and then end with Connor.
Okay, sounds good.
Great job, Jillian. I think you really did a good job of kind of outlining the problem in your community and trying to meet that need. You want to scale, and you need to hire a bunch of healthcare professionals. I see this as being like your biggest issue. How are you going to do that? Can you provide, can you have internships, or, what is going to bring people to your community, and how are you going to scale this to where you
Yeah.
want to see it?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that is our biggest barrier right now. We are in the rural community, so you just don't find a lot of professionals over there. But we already have interns working within our company, and that's kind of one of our biggest resources. We take high school and college interns, so we're able to accommodate both. One of our plans is to actually offer a scholarship to one Newaygo High School student who plans to go into the psychology or social work field. So providing them a scholarship to go to school, and then that kind
Wow.
of puts the seed already in their head to maybe come back and work for us. And then also offering just some recruitment bonuses to some of our to new clinicians, and then referral bonuses to our current clinicians.
Great job.
Thank you.
I think I was next. So, Jillian, really great job. And I know sometimes when you have a rocky start or things don't go, as planned, you handled that really with grace, and, great job. I know that's hard to go in as a team and kind of handle it by yourself, but you did awesome. So, my question was actually about the barrier. I think when you think sometimes care in rural communities, you're up against a lot, right? Not just mental and wellness type of care, but health services. That's a really big issue. And it sounds like you're creatively attacking it. I guess, are there other creative avenues to provide support or boost awareness amongst the women that you're trying to target these services to?
Yeah, so through our nonprofit arm, which is Hearts United, we also are able to provide free services for the community as well, which is really nice for kind of those cost barriers we run into within the community. But through that, we offer like women's circles, yoga, lots of other wellness events that is more approachable way to wellness and mental health, and allows everyone to kind of get over those barriers, and it's more stigma free. So.
Great. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jillian. I really appreciated your flexibility with this presentation and just thought it was great overall. What kind of partnerships have you guys dealt with within the community, just knowing that mental health is a topic that's being brought up more and more these days? And I know you had talked about a festival that had taken place. Like, what kind of feedback are you getting from those partnerships?
Yeah, we partner with a lot of people in the community. Since we were established in 2017, and my mom already worked for Newaygo County Mental Health beforehand, she already has had a wide network in Newaygo County. So through our Kindness Festival, we take lots of sponsorships. So with lots of local businesses, we work with them, and they're able to bring in their services into the festival. Especially, we had a lot of food vendors there, and a lot of just local vendors who wanted to showcase their products, sell their products there. And then within the boutique as well, that's another great way that we partner with the community. A lot of local vendors do sell in there. We try to keep everything local just because we might as well put it back into the economy of Newaygo. So Yeah, we're doing a lot within the community. We really enjoy it. We partner with some churches as well, and we're able to use their spaces, and it allows us to just kind of expand outside of Jenny's house. Even though we are a pretty big space already, it's kind of valuable to have those other spaces as well.
Who's talking? I can't hear.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.
No, your mom can't hear, but she would be very proud.
Well said, Jessica. Very well said. Well, thank you so much, Jillian and Jen. We really appreciate both of you guys being here. We'll go ahead and let you go, and you can head back into that Zoom room. Thank you.
Great job.
All right. Our last but not least finalist at all is Tiona Parker, owner of Good Teas. Hi, Tiona. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for being here and ending our whole stream with a great bang here now. We've got your slides ready, and that cake does look amazing.
Oh my
So
gosh.
you know the drill. You've got about 3 minutes to pitch. The timer will start as soon as you begin speaking. So without further ado, you can go ahead, take a deep breath, and whenever you're ready, you can begin.
Hello, my name is Tiona Parker, owner of Good Teas LLC, a home bakery specializing in from-scratch treats and other desserts. My baking journey began with my daughter's 2nd birthday, where I made her a Moana cake from Box Cake and tips from YouTube. After receiving great feedback on the design and flavor, I decided to experiment with from-scratch recipes, sharing with coworkers and friends. They wanted me to make their birthday cakes, and I built a client base, founding Good Teas in 2019. My business grew via word of mouth, and to improve my skills, I obtained my pastry certification in 2023. Good Teas has become a locally trusted brand that has been featured at local farmers markets and other events. Custom desserts are in high demand, with the U.S. bakery market topping $40 billion, with specialty items leading in growth. There's an increased desire for locally owned food businesses that supply a personalized experience, great quality, and flexibility with dietary preferences. In Kalamazoo, the total accessible market is $375,000, with an obtainable market of $150,000 due to Michigan's current revenue cap of $25,000 per home bakery. Good Teas' earning potential will increase significantly once we transition from our home kitchen to a commercial kitchen. We'll have access to a much larger market base and meet the licensing requirements for local stores and venues. Our customers are women typically aged 25 to 39, celebrating life milestones such as weddings, birthdays, and baby showers. This customer base also includes event planners and community members attending local markets and expos. Our focus is our custom cake and treat orders, prioritizing detailed and unique designs and great flavor. Last year, we sold well over 50 custom orders. Our desserts are all made from scratch with in-house recipes and top quality ingredients, some locally sourced. With the direct-to-consumer model in 2025, our revenue increased approximately 53% from 2024. We expect to see a minimum annual growth of 50% due to increased presence at markets and custom order sales. In 2026, our projected revenue is around $16,000, with further growth in 2028 as our as our revenue model expands to include B2B transactions with our products featured in retail stores, creating a new and reliable income stream. $6,000 of the prize will be allocated to 2 years of commercial kitchen rent paid to Can Do Kalamazoo. Moving from our home kitchen, we will increase our production capacity, thus increasing our maximum serve from 200 to 400. This allows us to exceed our profit cap of $25,000. The remaining $4,000 will be used to purchase raw materials in bulk, lowering our overall per unit cost, reduce inventory interruptions, and allow us to keep up with increased demand. This opportunity gives Good Teas the option to expand beyond our current ability and be able to be a part of so many celebrations. Thank you so much.
Fiona, great job. You ended us perfect for our last pitch. We just had 2 minutes and 58 seconds left. So you hit the nail right on the head. You didn't even go over the time at all. You did great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And
now we'll open this to 5 minutes of questions or comments from the judges. We'll start with Kim, then we'll go to Connor, and then we'll end with Jessica.
Great job. I loved your visuals too, especially that cake was wonderful. Can you speak to what competition you might have and what would be your competitive advantages?
Yes, so there are definitely several home bakeries in Kalamazoo. When I did some research, it was about 15 others. So I put myself in competition with them in that way, as well as other established bakeries. But my advantage is the fact that I do pay attention to the detail. I make everything from scratch. I am a perfectionist at heart who prioritizes what I'm giving to my clients. And I honestly believe in my flavor and my heart and passion for this. And I also offer a variety of options that can sometimes include like different flavors, different price points that could be more reasonable for your average clientele.
Great job.
I think I'm next. Thank you so much for your presentation. I really enjoyed it. I had two quick questions. The first one, so you said there was a cap on the amount that you can make as a home baker. Is that correct? Was it 25,000?
Yes. And so that was the end of the question, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Just making sure. So yeah, there is a current cap of 25,000. They did pass a law at the beginning of the year where they are going to increase that, but it won't take effect until October. And that has been the cap previously, where annually I'm not technically allowed to bring in any income beyond that 25,000 a month mark.
Gotcha. And so with the new law that's being passed, when you go to a commercial kitchen, is that threshold being brought up, or
to my understanding, I'm so sorry. My understanding that threshold is already larger because you do have the option of working within those licensed venues and stores. But the combination, I feel like, will allow me to increase the amount that I'm able to make at home while doing both, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
Yes, thank you. That makes sense.
Great job. I love that Moana cake. And I know if I made that for one of my daughters, they would have been over the moon. So I bet you made her a very happy kiddo. I was just curious, if you're talking about, growing, it sounds like you have a really well-defined audience, of women ages, I think you said 25 to 39, when you think about growing and moving into a commercial kitchen, are you going to evolve that audience, or are you going to stick with that and try and just grow in the Kalamazoo region?
My goal is to evolve the audience to include more. I would say I would like to get a further established region around this area, working with women of that age group who typically do have, like I said, celebrate those things. I will focus on them. They are my target audience, but if grow beyond that region in other locations, as well as having a larger audience base, yes, I would like to expand beyond that. And with the products being featured like in retail stores, like when I do have some select items, desserts, then I would like to reach those audiences as well, which that range could be greater. Like I said, those customers also shopping at market expos and other.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well done, Deonna. We still have just 1 minute. If anyone has a quick question or comment they'd like to leave.
I have a quick question for you. I looked at your projections, and will your expenses go up with having a lease and then, maintaining equipment in your kitchen, your industrialized kitchen?
Yes, those expenses will increase, but the idea is that I'll be able to have more space to purchase those raw materials in bulk, at least, hopefully lowering those costs. And
Okay. All right. Well done.
Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, exactly. Well done, Deonna. You absolutely crushed it. You are our last finalist for the night, and you ended us off really great. So I hope everyone's watching it can make a lot of noise in the chat for us. This was an amazing night for sure. We can let you StreamYard and go back to the Zoom, and we'll hear more from you soon.
Thank you. May I add just one comment as well?
Sure, of course.
Just that the table for the financials, if they are to be reviewed, was different than my original, like another table that I provided. I accidentally uploaded the wrong slides, but they were all still within my approval.
Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Thank you for
Good
letting
to
us
know. I'm glad you brought that up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great night, Tiana. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.
All right. Well, those were absolutely amazing group of 9 finalists, all from the Mid-Michigan region. Now you guys, of course, have the very difficult job of having to narrow down both those categories to find our top 3 winners. You have a secret teams meeting to go to with Carolyn, so we'll go ahead and let you go. But I just want to first say, from everyone watching, from the finalists, and from myself, thank you 3 so much for volunteering tonight, for help making this night be able to happen, of course. You guys were great judges.
Thank
It
you.
was so fun.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great rest of your evening. And now the audience will also get to do their own judging, as I'm sure many of you were very excited and waiting for. We have the Audience Choice Award. So as you can see, there is this giant, beautiful QR code right here on the screen. All you have to do is take your phone camera, focus it on the QR code, and a link will appear that you can click on. It should be a Google response form that says WomanUp Pitch Mid-Michigan competition, where you'll be able to pick who gets the $1,000 Choice Award. So super big deal. We'll leave this up in the corner in case you missed it there, because there's a few other things that I want to be able to talk about. This night really could not happen for over 14 years now without the help of all the sponsors that we've had over the years. One of our biggest and our premier sponsor is Consumers Energy Foundation, which isn't to say any less of our amazing sponsors, Comerica Bank and Schoolcraft College. But Consumers Energy Foundation did provide for us a great video to show exactly how much of an amazing impact they have for Michigan entrepreneurs. So let's take a watch.
When you think about caring for your community, what comes to mind? Maybe it's improving education or encouraging workforce development, fighting hunger or eliminating homelessness, preserving the environment, or supporting the arts. Consumers Energy has been giving back to Michigan for well over a century, and since 1990, we have been helping local communities grow and thrive through the Consumers Energy Foundation. Last year, Consumers Energy, our charitable foundation, employees and retirees gave over $11 million to Michigan nonprofit organizations. We're investing in what's most important to Michigan, its people, our planet, and Michigan's prosperity. The Consumers Energy Foundation is committed to ensuring all Michigan residents thrive economically and have access to world-class educational resources. We're focused on creating grants that protect and strengthen the health and sustainability of our state's land, water, and air. And we're dedicated to ensuring Michigan's businesses and communities are growing with world-class resources. For more information on how the Consumers Energy Foundation is caring for our communities, visit consumersenergy.com/foundation.
And here with us this evening, actually, is Catherine Wilson. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Gabe. How are you?
Very good. I was just going to say, you're the Executive Director of Corporate Giving, and I'm doing absolutely amazing. Those were some amazing pitches, weren't they?
Yes, really amazing. I'm always inspired, and I'm so honored to represent the Consumers Energy Foundation and my coworkers as we celebrate these amazing women entrepreneurs this evening. For me, working with the foundation and corporate giving, it just brings our investment to life to see this competition each year. I'm always inspired. At Consumers Energy, we are dedicated to ensuring that Michigan businesses and communities are thriving and growing. And this means creating opportunities for entrepreneurs who bring all these great new ideas to the table. We love help starting those new ideas and expanding those that are already underway. Tonight, we recognize that reflects a culmination of a significant amount of work. So just hats off to all the entrepreneurs who have been working across the state to work with their mentors, refine their business plans, and kind of like culminate into tonight. So you are all winners in my book. The Consumers Energy Foundation is proud of our longstanding support of Michigan Women Forward. And for more than 3 decades, we have invested more than $2.5 million. But it's not just like dollars invested. It's about like volunteering and supporting and mentoring and supporting. I just love like my coworkers who know about, you know, these new ideas and products. We seek them out. We share the websites. We want to help support them in other ways. If we're doing, you know, an event, we will seek out someone who's won one of these competitions to maybe cater that or get gifts or recommend. So we just love supporting all of you because you're all winners. Our support for Michigan Women Forward also reflects a broader commitment to Michigan's female entrepreneurs and small businesses statewide. We believe in the power of women-led businesses to drive innovation and economic growth. So thank you to all the finalists for sharing your vision with us this evening and your plans for growth. Your preparation, your hard work is very evident, and it will carry you forward. You're making a meaningful difference in positioning our state for a prosperous success. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Very well said. And thank you again, Kathy, for being here tonight, for being part of MWF and our work. And of course, thank you just to Consumers Energy Foundation as a whole, because without them and you guys, these competitions and so many other support services would not be possible. So thank you. And next, we're going to hear a little more about MWF and our support services from our Director of Lending, Tamara Jackson-Gatewood. Hi, Tamara.
Hello. How are you, Gabe?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us here. And I hope you were able to catch all of the pitches. They were really amazing, weren't they?
They were. I was chatting with Tanisha in the green room, and then I went out to the chat and then I chatted with Ellie because, boy, the startups, they are just like hand over fist amazing.
Yeah,
they
really
are playing tonight. Startups are great. Established are too. Established are incredible all the time, you know, because they've had, you know, to their point, you know, they've had some time to kind of, you know, lock in and kind of, you know, become subject matter experts, you know, in the world of being an entrepreneur. But the startups were not playing tonight. So kudos to both groups.
Absolutely. I always say it's really inspiring what you see people are able to make into a business. It really kind of reminds you that you can do anything if you really put your mind to it and have the vision for it. So I hope you.
Yeah. And we do it to ourselves. It's so funny because we get in our own way sometimes. And so these 10, you know, probably have enough stories to say about that, you know, the times that they probably got in their own way, but they stuck it out. And so we're seeing the results of that here tonight. And so I cannot say it enough. Congratulations to them. They made it look extremely easy this evening. So congrats.
Yeah. Absolutely. With a lot of prep, they were able to make it look just like that. So they did very well. And, you know, speaking of supporting businesses, I'd love for you to share a bit about just what MWF does exactly.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And again, Gabe, thanks a lot. And hello out there to everyone. Again, my name is Tamara Jackson-Gatewood, Director of Lending with MWF. And so if you're anything like me, you've got notes in your hand, just like I do. I've got my favorite, although, you know, I do have a sweet spot in my heart for the small business owner. Without a doubt, I will forever cheer the underdog. That's just how I am. So group chats are buzzing with the pitches, and we're just wanting to just make sure that we're just being supportive. And so that's really what it's all about. So before I dive in, I cannot say it enough. I do want to give a huge thank you to Comerica Bank, Consumers Energy Foundation, and Schoolcraft College for being able to sponsor WomanUp and Pitch. Your partnership just makes all of this possible. The coaching, the competitions, and the capital that fuels these incredible businesses. So we truly could not do this work without you. So thank you. We cannot thank you enough. So let's talk about lending at MWF. Michigan Women's Foundation was started in 1986 by Mary Jo Pulte and 30 determined women who saw a problem and refused to accept it. At that time, only 3% of philanthropic dollars were going to causes that improved the lives of women and girls. So they said, not on our watch. So fast forward to today, and that same bold, solutions-driven energy is alive and well in our lending work, because over the years, we learned something powerful. So many women, and especially women and entrepreneurs of color, weren't short on ideas, talent, or hustle. They were short on access to capital, access to trusted guidance, and access to someone saying, yes, we believe in you and we're willing to invest in you. And that's why MWF became a community development financial institution, or a CDFI. And what that means is simple but mighty. We lend where others won't. We look beyond a credit score to the whole entrepreneur, and we meet people where they are and then help them level up. So through our lending, we invest in women and entrepreneurs who are building real businesses, creating jobs, growing neighborhoods, and laying the foundation for generational wealth. And here's the part that I love the most. Our capital is never just a check. It does come with coaching. It comes with technical assistance and with real people walking alongside you as you grow. So when you see these finalists tonight, what you're seeing isn't just a pitch competition. You're seeing our pipeline. These are entrepreneurs that dared to dream and then did the work, who showed up, refined their ideas, sharpened the numbers, and stood in their confidence. And so at MWF, we like to say, we don't just move Michigan women forward, we move Michigan forward. Because when women win, families win. When entrepreneurs thrive, communities thrive. And when opportunity is expanded, everybody benefits. So to every finalist tonight, we see you, we believe in you, and whether you leave with a prize tonight or not, you are already part of something bigger. Thank you for letting us be a part of your journey, and thank you all for being here to cheer them on. Now let's keep this energy going. We've got some money to hand out. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamara. Well said. Very well said. And we'll let you go. You have a great, wonderful night. And, like Tamara said, there's a long history that has happened of us supporting women-owned businesses, especially with this program. I actually want to share a quick video that is based on someone who might be familiar to anyone who has been watching these over the years. It's an interview I did with Elizabeth Drain, or commonly known as Ellie, who ran WomanUp and Pitch for God knows how many years, but really kind of set the standard for what our virtual pitches like these have become. So let's take a watch. Well, Ellie, thank you so much for joining us. You have been leading WomanUp and Pitch for an incredibly long time. You've really kind of set the standard for all of our virtual pitches. And I wanted to be able to sit down with you and kind of talk about your experience. Can you tell me, how long have you been running WomanUp and Pitch now?
Yeah, so I started with MWF in 2014. And at the time, the pitch was only happening in Southeast Michigan. So I do recall at one point going over there during my first year with MWF and watching it, kind of seeing how it goes and how it operates, because that was in preparation for, in 2015, we were going to do it for the first time in West Michigan. In 2017, another region was added, another competition in the Jackson, Michigan area, so kind of that mid-Michigan area. So then we went from 2 up to 3, and then the pandemic hit, right? COVID hit. And so in 2021, we started doing them virtually. So we were doing 3 competitions at the time: West Michigan, Southeast Michigan, and then the Mid-Michigan. And then in 2022, we added the statewide food competition, virtual in its first year, unfortunately, because then we, had that, oh no, we want to sample. All of these sound way too good to not sample.
Yeah.
So then in 2023, we started doing that in person. And then just last year, so that would have been 2025, we had the addition of the Bay City region competition. So it's a lot of fun. Different businesses. Each year, the pitch has a different feel to it. You have a whole new group of people, 40 to 50 new finalists. And they're just, they each bring something different and something unique. And I will say it's really fun when our workshop facilitators, who've been doing this a very long time, say to me, every year we're just like, so impressed. Like the pitches get better and better and better. So, I think when you have kind of that external feedback too, that's a good thing. And you can really see how it's growing.
Yeah, absolutely. How have you kind of seen on a more descriptive level how the pitches have evolved over the years, whether it's the scale, the type of businesses, or just the confidence of the entrepreneurs themselves? Has there been any pattern you noticed?
Yeah, I would definitely say I think the confidence factor, and I think part of that too, just in the virtual environment, I think people are getting more and more used to using, the virtual platforms. And so I think the technology piece is something that entrepreneurs are getting more and more confident with. I also think that, the groups pitching now are at a slight advantage in that they can go back onto like our YouTube channel and check out previous years. And so I think they're, the very first group that did it, they had nothing to look at, nothing to compare it to.
Yeah. Any particular ones that have just kind of stuck with you after all this time for businesses?
Yeah, one that always comes to mind. This was several years ago, Southeast Michigan pitch competition, Paula Tutman with Zookit. I just remember her, we had tested ahead of time and, it was working and she had like a microphone and camera and she was kind of stepping away from it while she was pitching. And it was like, okay, it works, we're good. Well, of course, when it's her turn to get on and pitch, we lose her. And by that, I mean, we could still see her and hear her, but she could not hear us. And so it was just one of those in the moment, you're like, okay, we got to make this happen. And so in the platform we use, there's a chat function. And so I just chatted. I was like, we can see you. We can hear you. Start. And she was like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to start. And she did her pitch, nailed it, like that 3-minute mark, totally got it. And then the judges have questions, afterwards. And so I'm typing the judges' questions and she's reading them and answering them. I mean, just total pro in terms of, just rolling with the punches. And I was so impressed by that. Guess what? She ended up winning first place. I mean, so
That's great.
That's one of those just, unfortunately, anything can happen. And as best as we prepare, things can still happen. And so it's good when you're able, and I feel like entrepreneurs just have this ability to kind of pivot at a moment's notice and just go with the flow. So I thought that was a great testament to that. Some of the other ones I think that really stick out, just some fun reactions that we've had over the years because we do announce the winners live and I'm able to pull them into the stream. And it's a very sudden, basically they hear their name and boom, they're on camera. And so you get that very natural, fun reaction.
Mm-hmm. And, speaking of the pitches, after watching, at this point, hundreds of them, mm-hmm. What kind of separates, in your opinion, a good pitch from a great one?
I think preparation, passion, and knowing your numbers. So you can tell those that have prepared and practiced. And putting together a 3-minute pitch is not easy. It's not a lot of time. And so you need to be succinct. You need to make sure that you are incorporating everything that the judges are going to want to hear about, enough to convey your business to the judges and really to a larger audience as well. And so you can tell those who have practiced. So the preparation for sure. And with that also is, as you know, Gabe, the preparation of the technology too, because it may be, some people have worked with the platform before that we use and it's not a big deal. They're familiar. They know how to use it. Others haven't. And maybe they're, a little bit more uncomfortable with it. And so they've spent some more time just making sure that they're comfortable with even just the layout. Cause if something's more familiar, you do better typically, you're not, there's nothing like that fear there. So preparation is key.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if you could give every finalist who's pitching just one last piece of advice, like right before the timer starts and they begin, what would it be in that moment?
I think it's Nick Saban who says, trust the process. And so, how can you bring football into the pitch competition? Well, finalists, you have put in the work. You have prepared, so trust it. You know your business better than anybody. And that is going to come across in your pitch because, as I said, you've put in the work. You've put together that business plan. You have put together this pitch. I know you have practiced and rehearsed it so many times because you want to make sure you hit that 3-minute mark, right? So, just trust it. You've done it. Trust your training, and that will come through in your pitch.
Absolutely. And what do you hope really, what's kind of your best goal for what entrepreneurs can kind of take away from this experience? Besides, obviously, the big cash prize.
Something I would tell the entrepreneurs whenever we had our kind of get to know you meet and greet meetings was we can all agree that cash prizes are amazing and that's what we want, right? But I've heard some iteration of this my entire life, probably from my mother mostly, but something to the effect of, you will get out of something what you put into it, or, what you get out of something directly mirrors the effort that you put into it. And I can't tell you how many times I have seen finalists who truly engage and want to make the most of the entire experience, because what people may not realize is it's not just the pitch itself. They are working with a coach. They're putting together a business plan. They are putting together this 3-minute pitch, and we have everyone go through a workshop to help them be able to do that. So in that workshop, a lot of times they're, kind of collaborating and working with other finalists. They get to meet other finalists that way. And so it's just like this whole process leading up to what the audience sees on the day of the pitch, right? And you can just show up to check a box and just kind of be there half-heartedly, or, you can really take advantage of the opportunity to meet other entrepreneurs, potentially in the same space as you, to interact with your coach, and so I have seen people do that. And some people have even said, I still to this day maintain contact with another finalist I met because we just totally hit it off and have been able to, just not just become friends, but like talk about business with one another. And I also know some people too have kept in contact with their coaches. To me, that's like why we do this. Yes, the money is great and that infusion of capital is fantastic, but those connections and the networks that you can form those are invaluable, really.
Now, as you're kind of like taking a bit of a step back from pitch, what kind of excites you most about where WomanUp and Pitch is headed next?
I think watching it grow even more. So over the last several years, we've introduced a couple more competitions with the statewide food competition with the Bay City region. And, I was still able this year to sort of track how many applications were coming in when the applications were open back in the fall. And I think we had the most that we have ever had submitted this year. So it's clearly something that word's getting around. People are finding out about it. They're interested and they want to be a part of it. And so I think to continue to see it grow, and with that too, it just the competition gets that much better. So it's when you have more and more businesses applying, they're kind of those applications and concept papers are like pushing each other to be better and better and better. And so I just think that's a win all around, really.
Absolutely. And, it can't be overstated just how much hard work you put into this, how much passion. There's an expression that I know is really common for research papers that build off one another, standing on the shoulders of giants as they continue to grow and expand. And you absolutely have been a giant in this program, just building something really amazing from the ground up in its way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. And, Pitch Now is on its 14th annual year. And like you said, it's amazing to imagine what it could be like on its 24th. Yeah, it's absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much. We absolutely appreciate you creating all of this, setting kind of the standard for how great pitch can be, and also sharing all of your thoughts and experiences from the years past. Well, pardon me for being muted right there, but that was absolutely a joy to watch and a great sign of how far pitch has come. And now for the moment that we've all been waiting for, we're going to get ready to announce the first winners for our startup category. Please welcome again Carolyn Casson and Catherine Wilson.
Catherine.
Hi, Carolyn.
Hello.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. You're the lady that makes this all possible.
Thanks.
Thank you for your support. We could not do this without you. So, and that's not just saying something nice. That's really the truth. We could not do this without you. What an exciting evening.
Yeah, we have some absolutely amazing businesses. Everyone's been raving about it, especially in the chat. So we can go ahead and let you guys do the announcement. Catherine, you can announce the category and the prize amount, and then Carolyn will announce the winner and we'll be able to see them.
Carolyn, I'll have you announce the Well, we'll start with the
Well, you announced the category.
the
You're gonna
startup,
start,
right?
yeah. Where are
Yep.
you gonna start with? And do you have those little, so we know how much we're giving out?
Yes. So
Okay.
for third place, $2,500.
All right, $2,500. The third place winner in the startup category is Meg's Coffee.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Good job, Megan.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations, Megan.
Oh, thank you.
And
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, this was a hard category because there was less than a point between the person who won and the person who came in second and the person who came in third. So that's pretty.
Well done. Congratulations, Megan.
Yeah. So
Thank
be
you so
proud
much
of that.
for the Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And now for second place in the startup category, we have a prize of $5,000.
And the second place prize goes to J. Margaret.
Oh my God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
This was a tight race. This category was a very, very tight race. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Well earned. Good job, Jillian.
Okay. Pins and needles. So excited for the first
This never
place.
gets old. This never gets old. It's just I like all of my throat is I'm so excited.
So $10,000 for first place in the startup category.
Goes to finances. All right, you wowed them.
I'm still at the airport and
Oh,
most quietly.
There's nobody listening.
Well done, Darla.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Fly safely, and as soon as you get back, give us a call and come get your money.
Okay, I'll be there tomorrow.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And now we can announce the audience choice winner who was among this category.
Okay, the audience choice winner is ready to be announced, and the audience choice winner will win $1,000.
And the audience choice was Montag Forward Solutions.
Thank you so much.
They loved you. They loved you.
Congratulations, Louise.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
All right. Well, that was our startup category. It's incredible that they were so close. As I mentioned, all of them who did not place are still going to be walking away with $500. You guys did absolutely amazing. Now, let's watch a quick video about some of the impacts that our winners have, and then we'll be ready to announce the established category.
I started about 12 years ago in Cedar Springs and had a small studio up there where I live. And it just kept growing and growing and growing, and we couldn't find a space big enough up in the Cedar Springs area. We now have this beautiful, huge location with 3 stage-sized rooms that offer plenty of space for our dancers to grow and our business to grow. Our plan is to grow our sensory-friendly program, which is one of the only in Kent County, and it's something that we're very passionate about. And when I found our amazing teacher, Emily Stahl, who has that training in both dance and her physical adaptive education, I couldn't have been more excited, because that is something that is not easy to find in the world of dance. And I just really wanted to be able to offer our philosophy at Evolve is everybody is included. Everybody is welcome, no matter your age, your experience, your abilities. We want everybody to feel like this is home and a comfort, safe space for them. Michigan Women Forward was a great asset. I have used their assistance in many areas, both with the microloan program, but also the Pitch Award grant that I won second place 2 years ago for our sensory friendly program, to be able to offer that, accommodate those dancers with specialized equipment, hire a teacher that is very well qualified, and those children deserve just as much of a space to be free and have fun and use the arts to express themselves. And that is something that I wanted to find a safe space for them to do. Being a person who has grown up here my whole life and been in this area, not only myself, but multiple generations, this is hometown to me. I have lived here for 40 plus years. And so this is what's comfortable. And I want to bring that comfort to families. I want to bring that positivity and dance and fun and welcoming to everyone.
All right, now we are ready to announce our established businesses.
Okay, and third place prize is $2,500, Carolyn.
And the winner is Good Teas LLC.
Wow, thank you so much. Yay. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's well earned. Congratulations, Tiona.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And second place in the established category for $5,000 is, I was waiting for Ellie's drum roll.
I know, she would need to have a drum roll, right? A real drum roll. Jenny's house.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank
you.
Oh, so now we can hear you both. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm on
Oh, you
track.
did a great job.
Thank
Yes,
you
you
for the
did.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. You guys both did amazing.
That's right. Let us know how it's going. We want to know all about it, and we want you to be inspiring everyone else.
Yeah. Yes,
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And last but not
And
least,
first place in the established category for $10,000.
Thanks to you, Consumers Energy Foundation, is Create a Character.
Yay, thank you so much.
congratulations.
You're very welcome. You earned it. You earned it. No gift from us. All we did was count the scores, and you did all the work.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled. Thank you.
Well said.
Congratulations.
Amy.
Thank
well
you.
deserved.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm telling you, I hope you can share the kind of excitement and enthusiasm that you heard tonight, and the joy that doing this work brings to everyone. Please share that with everybody at Consumers Energy Foundation. And I'm going to go turn up the heat right now. Just
100%. We'll do that. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of it. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for helping to support us. And of course, for all of our finalists in the established category who did not place, they'll still be getting $500 thanks to the support of Consumers Energy Foundation and our sponsors. So you guys, we could not do this without you.
And you also become a part of the Michigan Women Forward family, and the group of us that will be, standing beside you, pushing you forward, and pulling you along the way, whatever you need to get us through all this. So it's just the great part about being a part of this competition is that you become a part of the family. So thanks everybody for watching tonight. Thank you for being a part of this. Thanks to the people who helped make this possible. You've heard me talk a lot about Consumers Energy, who have been our funders for the prize money a year for the past years. Comerica Bank and Schoolcraft College have also contributed to make sure that we can continue to do this year after year. We could not do it without them. Thanks to you, Gabe, for putting this all together, and Kenneth for behind the scenes. And I know there are other people behind the scenes that are making this all possible. If you've enjoyed tonight, we're going to do it again next Tuesday night. Remember, everybody here is a winner because over 200 people applied, and we saw 9 of them tonight. We'll see another 10 next Tuesday, February 24th, for the Bay City, Michigan region competition. Have a good evening, and thank you so much for everything you do.